Hey y'all, this is Hayden with TractIQ, and today I'm going to walk you through the program in its entirety. So as we know, TractIQ is great for market intelligence, analysis, underwriting, and then even prospecting. And I'm going to show you how to do all of those within the system. So as you can see right here, I am on what we call the dashboard. When you log in, this is the very first page that you'll see. One quick awesome thing about this is if I go to this create button up here, I can immediately start building my own custom prospecting list that will begin my search for facilities all across the nation, different states, a single state, or even using a center point address. So as we can see here, I have the option to deselect all of the states, and I can even select one or a multitude of states to begin my prospecting list. And you'll notice when I do that, this number down at the bottom of facilities will actually change. And if I go and select an address, same thing occurs. I can enter in either an address or a city. I'm going to use Dallas as an example. And now I can select my area radius as well. And I can go all the way up to 100 miles. So I'm going to pick that one. And what you'll notice is right off the bat, I can now scrape between 2,382 sites within this list. But we also have more criteria down here to get even more precise for building a list. I'm going to select operating and maybe go for something between 30 and 50,000 net rentable square feet. Let's say I want climate control, owner data, and then filtering out the REITs. And then we have other things as well, such as website, pricing, and then facility history as well, like year built, last sale date, and last sale price. I like what I have set up here. It looks like I have 49 facilities across this search criteria that are going to save into my list. I'm just going to call this Texas list. And then I'm going to click create an ad. And now what you're going to see is all of these sites are going to populate immediately into this list. And what I like about the dashboard here is I can really quickly compare and contrast what these sites look like at a very high level. So what you'll notice is I have all of these different criteria points here. And so I can kind of quickly compare. We're running a 5-mile trade area analysis around the centroid of each of these sites. So I can quickly see within 5 miles what the population is, the median household income, the growth percentage, and then even the square foot per capita. And then what we'll see over here as well is the owner name and phone number. So if one looks interesting, I can immediately go and contact that owner and see what that conversation could potentially yield. From here as well, I can also go and export this list. So I can have all of the raw data for all of this information. And I can even go to customize if I want to visualize maybe another data field. Maybe I want to go away from the owner information and maybe toggle something as far as rates, or maybe I want to see if there's any new facilities in development that are in this area as well. So now we can see here within 5 miles of this site, there's actually 2 coming in the development pipeline. I can also add in my own personal addresses for this as well. So I have this search bar up at the top, and I can add in an address or even a market and add that directly to my deals as well. So from here, what I can do next is I can take this right to the map. So if I click on open in map, this button over here on the right side, or even jump to maps over here, it will take me right to the map view. And there we go. Here's this prestige storage that I was looking at in the dashboard earlier. There's also a great way to build a prospecting list from this view as well. So now you can see that I'm focused at this prestige storage as a center pin. I can also go to my search bar again and search for an address or a city, or I can click on another one of these pins and recenter here, or I can use my pin dropper up here at the top, and I can drop a pin anywhere on the map as well. What you'll notice is whenever I drop a pin or if I select one of these sites, this right side panel pulls up, and this is what we call the insight panel. This is the main driver for all the analysis tools and all the data within TractIQ. I can go and immediately adjust a radius or a drive time, so I can select a 1, 3, and 5 mile radius here, or I can do drive time. Highest I can go is 60 minutes for drive time, or 20 miles as a radius. And what you'll notice as well is I have an export button here, and if I click that, you can see the different types of data that I can download. For those on the starter plan, you'll have access to the demographic data, square foot per capita, and the storage facilities report. So demographics, what do we have in there? Demographics is a very, very deep slice into all the demographics of the people that live within the trade area that you've selected. Square foot per capita is all the square foot per capita and indexing for population growth and supply in the future and over time. And then storage facilities report, this will have all the information for all of these sites within a trade area. And so if I was building a massive prospecting list as an example around the Dallas area, I could go switch to drive time, go all the way up to 60 minutes. And then from there, I can actually pull a report that will give me all the data on all of these pins that you see within the map. So now if I run that export, I'll show you a little bit about what it looks like and the data that's inside of it. So now that we've opened this up, you can see there is tons of information here. I think I just pulled probably around 1,500 sites. Yep. 1470. It's a lot of information. And some of the highlights here is obviously what the facility name is, the management type, street address, the operating designation, if there's climate control units at the facility or not, all of the square footages, if it's a developing site, all the developing information, owner name and phone number, zoning info, parcel info, mailing address, structural information such as year built and last sale price, parcel values, land values, and then pricing information and tax information. So there's tons of data that I was just able to pull for an hour outside of that centroid of Dallas. You can also see that we have different colored pins here. So green is a facility that we have pricing information for. Red is a facility that we don't. And then the yellows are the developing sites. For the facilities that are these red colors, we sometimes will notice that they are more indicative of the mom and pops because of the way that we get pricing information is from a website directly. So usually they turn red because we don't have a website for them or pricing is not listed on the website. If it's a developing site, if I can click on this pin here, it'll actually show me the project status of that development project and the date that we were actually last able to make that update. Some other awesome things about looking at the TractIQ map here. So I have access to traffic counts, so I can see a heat map of all the average daily traffic volume on all these major roadways and arteries all across town. I also have flood zones, so I can assess flood and environmental risk. And then the parcel overlays, so I can actually see that parcel footprint on that plot of land that the storage facility sits on. What you'll also notice about the map is I can adjust this, so I can even switch this over to the satellite imagery, or I can flip it to the TractIQ data base map layer. So now what you'll notice is everything is a nice shade of blue. It's because it's going off of population density saturation at the county level, which I can actually adjust and configure. So I can actually flip this to the zip code as an example. And now you can see we're looking at population density at the zip code level, and I can even change the population density layer as well and switch it to another data point. So I have this menu here, and I can switch it to something else related to population. I have household data such as income levels. I have facility information, so number of facilities, projected number of incoming facilities. I have saturation, so square foot per capita, and then even crime. And if I wanted to, I could select something different, and now I have a nice visual on this map for square foot per capita. We also have another method of prospecting built into this tool. So if you click on Find Opportunities up here at the top, we can now do this by one of two ways. So the first is Find Facilities, similar to the prospecting tool that we were doing earlier in the dashboard. I can go and start adding criteria. And so maybe I'll say I want something in between 30 and 50,000 net rentable. And maybe I also want something that was built recently. So let's do 2015 and more recent than that. Now when I apply these filters, you'll now notice that all the pins that are still remaining in the map are the ones that actually adhere to that criteria set that I just set up. I'll go ahead and clear these. And now I can also do this by finding areas that match specific criteria as well. So now if I click on this, now I have a drop-down option where I can go here and again set up specific criteria. Maybe I'll say I want an area that is over 5% population growth, but I also want an area that has less than 2 facilities in the development pipeline. So now what you'll notice is this map has some zip codes that are grayed out or lined through. So the ones that are lined through, if I click on this, it'll actually tell me that I've missed on some of the criteria points that I input here. So it looks like we're actually overachieving on the population growth that I put in, but we're missing on the current number of incoming facilities within that area. All the ones that are a remaining solid shade of blue, these are all the areas that actually match my criteria. So you look at this zip code, this is really, really nice population growth at 9.5%, and there's no facilities in the development pipeline. So awesome to see that. So that's another way to just be really creative about using this map and using the filtration systems to not only find areas that might match your investment criteria, but also the facilities within those areas that could match as well. And now, if we click into this Analyze Deal button after we find something that we like, and I'm just going to pick out a random facility here that we can zero in on. We can go to Analyze Deal, and it'll break open this whole other tab. So now I have access to an executive summary that will give me high-level access into square foot per capita, number of facilities, population of the area, projections of incoming facilities and supply and demand, population growth, rates. If I download this PDF, it'll actually give me a beautiful written up PDF, 20 pages of great insights into this area and this facility. Great for sharing with financial institutions, lenders, or business partners. More demographic data. As you remember, I was explaining that we have a raw data format of this as well that you can download on the other page. Same with opportunity. So this is more square foot per capita information, rate trends. So you'll now be able to see all of these charts. And these charts can date all the way back to 2018 with trend rate data in this area. And you can see that this one is all units, climate, non-climate. We can break it down by unit size, and then even by level and access. And then lastly, rental comps. And so this will be organized in the closest to furthest facility within your trade area. So you can see I have all these facilities within my 5-mile radius listed here, complete with the average for the rates of the last month, and then average high, average lows, broken out by unit size, climate, and non. And I can even customize this. So if I want to look at rates a different way, maybe I'm after per month and per unit. Maybe I want to do the last month to the last 12, different unit size mixture, different level, you name it. Just click what you want and press apply. And then of course, I can always download the data for that as well. All right, well that mostly does a pretty nice slice of all the form and functions of TractIQ. If you have any questions, please be sure to reach out to myself and the team. We would love to help support you in any way that we can. All right, thanks so much, and we'll talk next time.